I'm Walt Woodard, and I appreciate you joining us back here for the video lesson. Last time we did these lessons, we just talked about the heeling, and it was about horsemanship and position on your horse. But we got some emails from you guys out there that head, and they say, hey, what about the headers? It's team roping. So sorry about that. We'll try to post a heading lesson and a heeling lesson, you know, every week, every 2 weeks. But this is done as a courtesy, and we just appreciate you visiting our website and coming to the clinics and buying the videos, and we'd love you to come here to the training center. So let me show you something about big horns. A lot of the clinics that I go to, the guys talk about the fact that, boy, they don't like big horns. You know, they want to rope that little black plastic head that you stick in the bale, and they slaughter that. But when you're out there on tour, every single guy, I mean, without exception, every guy that heads professionally ropes big horns. And what big horns does is it makes you do everything more correctly. Now, let me show you what I do on big horns. I think one of the secrets is to turn your rope upside down. You've got to get this rope turned like that. Now people say, oh, that hurts my arm. Let me show you what doesn't hurt your arm. That doesn't hurt your arm. That's how, if you hand a rope to a beginner, that's how they swing it. So the opposite way of that is completely upside down, and that's one of the things that you got to do to rope big horns. You got to get these pieces spread apart. And another thing, you've got to get outside your elbow. You can't swing in front of your elbow, inside your elbow, because then you're turning your rope over in the middle of the horns. So you got to push this rope on the outside and really turn it, turn it. See that piece kicking over the other one? Turn it, turn it, turn it. And then come outside your elbow. That really is important to roping big horns. Now, a lot of people say, well, what about little bitty horns? If you practice on big horns all the time, I go to US ropings, they have little horns, or I go to a little roping in the spring and they have little bitty horns. You know what I do when they have little bitty horns? I turn it a lot. Now, you don't have to make as big a revolution as you do on big horns. You can make a smaller revolution, but the more you turn it, the more curl that creates. When you turn your rope a lot, turn it, turn it, turn it, turn it. Oh, man, that makes a lot of curl on your rope. So that's something that I do on big horns. Another thing is staying wide, and I've preached that before, but when you get straight behind a steer that's got great big horns, it looks like you're roping an elk. If you can just get a little bit wider like that, it narrows the horns down. So get out here, turn your rope a lot, bang, bang, bang. So that goes on really well. Okay, another thing that I read the other day, I read that, I don't remember who wrote it, but they was talking about the importance of roping as soon as you get there. And I disagree with that, you know, I mean, and I think that no, I don't disagree with that. I think that is a great point after you learn how to catch. Because a lot of people say, well, I want to take my roping to the next level. You have to learn to catch consistently before you start doing that. Make sure that you can catch 5, 6, 7 in a row. And another thing, don't kid yourself on the dummy on the ground. You can swing your rope like this on the ground, catch the head. Except when you get on your horse, it doesn't work because you got all that headwind coming and you got all that motion coming. So try to rope the dummy correctly on the ground. We have people come here all the time in the training center and they say, well, I never miss a dummy on the ground. I say, okay, get on the horse and see how you do. Can't catch the steers, not one time. And then they're more receptive to what we want to tell them about, hey, listen, that's not going to work. You got to get this thing back, around that elbow, turn that rope over, turn it, turn it, turn it. Hey, another thing that I think that really helps on big horns is keeping your hand high. It seems like a lot of times the steers got big horns, they'll kind of run with their head just a little bit low. If you have your hand low, it'll hit their shoulder and bounce off. Get your hand up there and turn that rope. See how high that hand is? Bang. Turn it, turn it, turn it, turn it, turn it. Well, that one rope went on really well. So roping big horns, getting there and staying there, getting a little bit wider, keeping your hand high, turning that rope over and outside that elbow. Hey, and I want to say one more thing. A lot of people contact us and they say, you know, I wave it off a lot. I don't get as much curl as I want to. You've got to get that rope to drive to the back of that head, and you can't get that, you can't make that happen if your hand is out in front of you. You've got to come around your elbow. You know, when I was a kid growing up, my dad, he made me swing this loop right here. And what that taught me is that taught me to go back and around my elbow. See how my hand is going back and around it? When I say around my elbow, it's going back and around my elbow. I'm not out here in front of my face. Okay, with that swing, with that drill, that exercise, that taught me to come around my elbow more when I swung my rope, when I was actually roping. Same thing. Around it, around it, around. Okay, that gives me the power to drive this rope to the back of the head. So if I'm going around that elbow and I'm turning that rope and my hand is high, then I drive it through the back of the head. Man, that goes on good. So those are the things that I work on. And when I get on my sled, I do the same thing. So I get to where I can do that on the ground. I get to where I can rope my dummy. I do my drills. I discipline myself with my swing. Then I get on my horse and I start roping the sled like that. Get up there, match the speed of the steer, hand high, around my elbow, turning my rope a lot, and then the back of the head. So those things that we work on. And you know what? You're better off to rope that dummy 20 times correctly than 500 times just to put the numbers in. Think about what you're doing, discipline yourself, and actually practice something when you rope the dummy. So we appreciate you joining us. I hope that helps you. If you have any problems, email us. We'd love to answer you. But thanks and good luck with your roping.